So this is behind the scenes. There's what's been under the curtain all this time. Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California. The mother load of grapes. This has been unbelievable. We have never gotten that many. He had to fill this basket up twice. We've eaten lots of them. I'm going to freeze some. These are just absolutely gorgeous. I can't believe how many we have gotten. So I know I haven't talked about the grapes that we've got because I basically have forgotten about it. Every year they disappear. He brings in a little batch and that's about it. But all of a sudden we started thinking about the grapes, and I asked Gary, because he started bringing in these little bundles. And I asked him, do we have grapes? And he said he doesn't know, because they're on the other side under a big bush, and the bush had overgrown. Keep that in mind. The bush overgrew everything that was there, so we could barely see the grape plants. So he said, well, let me go check. And when he checked the other day, it was packed with grapes. So he had to go out there and he went and picked, and he was picking and picking. He had to bring in another load. He filled up this basket. Now I've got it in a pan, a big roasting pan, and he had to go back down and pick more. What happened was, and I think this is why did we get so many grapes when normally we get almost nothing? Well, you know what? Let me tell you first about the grapes, and then I'll come back to that. I don't know what type they are. I believe there's 2 different grape plants growing there. Both of them do have seeds. And what it was years ago, when I first moved here, I used to go to the nursery and buy all kinds of stuff, and I don't remember what I bought. Obviously, I bought a pair of plants here because they have now finally produced. They do have seeds. They have a blush to them, and they're really, really sweet. I happen to like the ones with seeds. They seem to be sweeter than the seedless ones. So I planted them. We don't have any plant tags, no stakes or anything. I don't know what type they are. Just something we got from the nursery, or I got from the nursery years ago. And that's all I can tell you about him. So anyways, going back to the grapes, he didn't do anything different except for the big bush that had grown way over everything and just covered it. And what must have happened is the birds couldn't see it. Normally the mockingbirds come in, the scrub jays come in, they just demolish the grapes. But it was covered, so nobody knew they were there, which is our benefit. So it worked out really good, which means I really should throw some tulle on there next year. This is it for the grapes. They're done flowering. They're not going to do anything else. But he's going to go ahead and kind of clean the area out and make sure that next year we get the grapes. He's going to trim them back the way they're supposed to be trimmed. These are so sweet. I'm going to go through and wash them. There's no way I'm going to be able to go through them. I think he weighed them out. The first basket was like 12 pounds, and so was the next one. It was like 22 pounds of grapes we got. It was a surprise. It was really, really a beautiful, beautiful surprise. But you'll see they're kind of a blush. Some of them are greener, and I'm wondering if that is the other variety. I thought I bought seedless, but these have seeds. So obviously I did not. See, this one's got seeds, and so does the red one. They both have seeds. Remember, you do not give grapes to dogs. That's what they say. So Kitty doesn't get any grapes. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, we'll never get through them all. I'm going to wash them up. I'm going to put them on a cookie sheet. Now these are going to go on a cake pan right now because that's what fits in my freezer. They'll freeze in just a couple hours. I can move those. They're washed and clean. They're fairly dry from sitting out here. But they'll freeze in a couple hours, and then I can transfer them to a plastic bag and do more grapes. I try not to leave any stems or anything bad. That's it. You put them on a pan like this because they freeze really quick. And once they're a little bit frozen, then you can move them into plastic bags, and then it's easy to take out. If you did it just the way it is right now, even because of the dampness, you'll end up with a block of grapes. When you do it this way, they come right out of the freezer, and then you just have little marbles in big plastic bags in the freezer. I'm going to freeze them and pack the freezer with all these grapes. Grapes you can take out once they're thawed. They're so good, you can eat them just the way they are. Or I can juice them, I can put them in my green drinks. When I pick a lot of greens, I can put them in there. There's different things you can do with them, but we're gonna go ahead and freeze these, or I'll freeze these tonight. But I wanted to share this with you because it was a surprise. And we might go ahead and maybe do some cuttings and plant them around in different areas, because it was kind of the forgotten fruit. And it was just something we didn't expect to have so much of. So with that, I guess I just wanted to share with you that Gary picked them. We got about 22 pounds of grapes. And, well, that's all there is to say. So something needed to cover them. So it could have been tulle, and tulle would have kept things out of it. This time, it was a plant that grew over the entire area where it was all growing. It's not even put up in any fashion. You'll see, it's just there growing wild, and all these grapes were underneath. All the leaves hidden, and it was a beautiful treasure to find. So with that, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Boy, I wish I would have known what it was. But it would have been, oh, wow. I'm going to say probably 89. Probably, I would say in 89 I bought them. That was a while ago. So this is behind the scenes. There's what's been under the curtain all this time. What it is I had bought this sink really, really cheap, and we had no use for it. It's a plastic type sink, but it's a good sink. So I told Gary, can you just take a couple 2x4s and just make a little frame? And of course he went a little out of his way, and I haven't painted it yet. But what it is, it's a simple sink, and he did put the strainers inside, so nothing will just fall through. I actually just used my plain old hose. Told him don't make me a faucet or anything, just the plain old hose faucet. There's where I turn it on. I'll show you. It's so funny. It's just something simple. I like simple. Of course, he would have built a whole sink if I gave him time. And now I can rinse things out here. Let me turn it off. And this is where I am washing all the grapes, sorting through, going to compost anything that doesn't look that good, and go, well, wait a minute, where's the water going? In a bucket. And what do you think I'm doing with the bucket? I can pull the bucket out. I got a square 5-gallon bucket that I can take my watering can afterwards and recycle that water. See? To water my plants on the deck whenever I use the sink. Isn't that cool? So the water doesn't go to waste at all. Easy to do. There's the spout underneath. I told him just put me a PVC pipe and direct it down, and I'll put it to a bucket. And if you think that's all the grapes, we've been eating them, and I have all these to do. But that's what this is. Just a simple sink, something I can come outside and save all this water and enjoy the beautiful sun. But this is what I've been having underneath, and this has worked out fantastic. See? And that's how it's all hooked up, simple PVC. And I have an outdoor sink to do anything, even plants or seeds or whatever I want. I just keep it covered from the sun because it's so bright. I don't want the sink to kind of cook out in the sun, so I leave the curtain on it. Just like here, this goes, my hose, this is that nylon type hose. It goes in like a trash can with holes in it so it won't fill with water. And I took some old Holy socks and I put them here on the hose, so when the sun beats on them, at least it's beating on the sock, not on the hose. That's all. Kind of covering it from the UV lighting from the sun, so things will last a little longer. But that's what it is. Very simple. And there is some of the grapes, frozen already in a bag. This is good Ziploc bag, so we can go in and out and get all the grapes that we want. No, you can't have grapes. I did bring you in some broccoli. Here's your broccoli. You want it.